12 minutes to go in normal time. Liverpool 3-0. Corner taken quickly, Origi! Yeah! Yeah! Unbelievable! Divock Origi! Oh my word! Yes! This is extraordinary!
Hello and welcome to Redscast. It is me, joined again by Ste. How's it going? How happy is you to be back post-lockdown, Ste?
Post-lockdown? Well, we've just been a write-off lockdown.
Yeah.
A week to go.
I know.
One
Cannot wait.
I've seen enough Bundesliga and I've seen enough Italian Cup semi-finals now. I just want the Reds back.
Prem back. Yeah. But before we start, we've got some exciting news. As of tomorrow, the Redscast will be broadcasting live from 6 p.m. every single week on 99.8 FM KTC Live. So we've stepped into the FM world. It's a new world for you, not so new for me. I've done it for 10 years. How are you feeling? You're going to be hearing your voice on the radio every week?
Excited. Yeah, it's new for me. I've only ever been on the radio for like competitions and stuff.
Yeah,
it's exciting. I'm looking forward to hearing my voice on the radio.
So now with Redscast, you can listen on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Alexa, all other podcast streaming platforms. You can watch it on YouTube and now on FM radio. So we're going places, Steve. We're going places. Absolutely everywhere. So yeah, Liverpool back. One thing I do want to start with though is, what are your views? You said you watched Bundesliga. I'm assuming you watched that to watch Timo Werner.
Yeah, at first. At first. There was a couple of reasons. I was meant to be going over to watch a game. That was on the other night. That was pretty depressing to watch. But yeah, I've watched a bit of Timo Werner. Then I stopped.
Yeah.
When I seen the Chelsea and stuff, I was like, it doesn't really matter anymore, does it?
I'm the exact same, really. I mentioned it on last week's podcast because I don't know if you've seen all the Twitter police all going mad about the FSG out and all this. It's absolute nonsense. You're right, Steve. But for me, I think FSG have got the club in the best position personally I've seen them in 25 years of living. I've never seen Liverpool be this good. So what would you say? Because you've seen Liverpool, you've watched greater teams than me.
I would say if you want FSG out, you need your head reading, because we've got the biggest lead in the Premier League. Like, what more do you want?
Well, this is what I was saying.
Because we don't sign one player. How many players have we not signed in the past?
Well,
look where we are
I
now.
see now. I remember when Alex Teixeira, the Brazilian guy, and Klopp pulled the plug on it, and everyone was fuming, and I don't even know where he is now.
China or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So I'm not saying Werner will flop, but if you look at it in a context point of view, Timo Werner is one of the best strikers in the world. Is he going to come and sit on Liverpool's bench?
No.
That's what I mean. And I've seen recently.
Is he going to go and sit on Chelsea's bench?
He's not going to sit on their bench. They've got Tammy Abraham, haven't they?
True, yeah.
But I've seen now that apparently we're going in for Sancho. But I think it's going to be at the expense of Mbappe, which upsets me a bit because I really wanted Mbappe. But I think Sancho's got a lot of potential to potentially be as good as Mbappe.
Yeah, I think they're two players. I mean, obviously, they're two that would really push the first 11 to get a starting place.
Yeah.
And all this, like, say nonsense about FSG out. How many players are you going to get in that are going to sit on the bench?
Exactly. It's so hard because there's not one. Genie signed a new contract, isn't he? Van Dijk's getting one for life. There's no one you can take out of that team. I mean, Karius seems to think that he's coming to dislodge Alisson. He can leg it back at wherever he came from in Germany. I know. But
to get back to his modelling career or whatever the hell.
Yeah, I know. Do you know what? Obviously, I go to Turkey quite a lot, and I've got friends who are Besiktas fans, and they hated him. He was just as bad there. So why does he think he can? He's not even as good as Adrian.
No.
I don't want Adrian to go.
What, is he come back hoping to get a medal or something?
He said that there's no world-class goalkeepers in the Prem or in the world other than Neuer, really. And it was just like Alisson won the Golden Glove for every competition he entered last year. So how is that not world-class in this? I think he's still got concussion.
I was going to say, is he trying to get an Alisson's head or something?
It's just absolutely crazy. I couldn't believe it when I seen it.
I remember when we signed him, and it was another one where, we're signing X, Y, Z, whoever the player is. And I was like, right, okay, YouTube.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, let's see Karius' best bits, and he looked like a really good keeper, really good
Yeah,
shot
he looked
stoppers.
amazing.
And he had a little spell before the final that he lost us, where he was playing well.
Yeah.
And then, as you say, he got that concussion, and it's just...
That's what I mean. I
There's
just
no,
don't
for
think...
me, there's no coming back.
I don't think he can come back because the hurt, I mean...
Mental
it
scars.
it hurts me knowing that, like, that was such a good day. That Kiev final for me was probably on par with Madrid's in terms of the day of it. And because we hadn't been there for since 2007, so it was like 12 years, and it was just the anticipation. We should have beat Real Madrid, and then that big German gimp just ruins it all for us.
I've watched it back, and it was painful.
Yeah,
recently,
really painful.
I just can't put into words how much I wanted to strangle him.
But have you got any concerns over transfers then? And with Klopp's comments about our financial situation, now loads of people are moaning because we've won the Champions League, that pays you a lot of money. We're about to win the Premier League, always pays you a lot of money. But what people don't seem to get the grasp of is FSG have said from day one they are buying Liverpool for a business. Yeah. So they bought Liverpool when we was rock bottom. We're now £1 billion business. The businessmen. And that's what they always will be. And people need to realise that that's what Liverpool is. It's a business to them.
You want success, that sort of comes with it.
Yeah. And I mean, I can take Liverpool being a business with them and us maybe having to sell to buy to be 25 points clear at the top of the league and stuff like that. Like,
it's working. Whatever they're doing,
yeah,
behind the scenes, it's working because look where we are.
Well, I've seen us get linked with that Aurora, from Lyon, the striker there. And apparently he's only got like a £33 million clause that we can buy because they look like they are going to get European places, which is more along the lines what we were offering for Werner.
So yeah,
because we were going 30 mil for Werner, which I don't know.
that
I don't know what John Emery was smoking, thinking we would get Werner for 30 mil. But yeah, I don't know anything about him. But Twitter was going mad. Apparently,
to be honest, I hadn't even heard the rumours about that one.
Yeah, he's meant to be some real.
Is it Aouar?
Yeah, Aurora.
I think I've seen him on FIFA, but it's about the extent.
He's meant to be like unbelievable, but it's just one of them. I don't ever since Cinema Pongola and Antti Latala, I don't trust us going to buy kids from the French league.
I know.
I don't know if that's just me. I mean, we were watching it when we worked the other day, and Cinema Pongola actually scored 2 goals against Luton, and he weren't that bad. He played in the Champions League final, I think, as well, didn't he? Or he came on, or was part of the squad, or something. Yeah, he's in the squad anyway. But yeah, French players scare me since Gerard Houlier's buying all his kids and they were all shocking.
I can't off the top of my head think of one that's come to us that's done really well.
I think the best one would probably be Sakho, wouldn't it? Because he was like an established international, but then he just lost his head. But I seen he's meant to be suing the people who said
the anti-doping
agency, because he's saying that it ruined his career because he obviously lost Liverpool and now he's
well, he never got to play the
Europa League final, and then he obviously ended up at Palace, which is
I'd sue for that
under Roy Hodgson, so we understand how they are. But what are your views on FSG then if we don't buy?
Crack on. I mean, it seems to work. As I say, it seems to be working.
Yeah.
And obviously we're tying down players to long-term contracts. Van
Dijk's getting like a 9-year deal.
Wow. That's going to cost us.
It will.
So we seem to have the spine of the team there locked down for years. We've got quite a youthful team. We've got players coming through. You've got like Curtis Jones.
Elliot.
He's the main one. Harvey Elliott. That Hoover looks quite good. Nico Williams.
Yeah.
There's plenty of players coming through that if you think we've got that one of the best first 11s in world football.
Yeah, hands down.
So who are we bringing in? Someone to sit on the bench. Why spend the money to bring someone to sit on the bench when we've got these kids coming through who are capable?
Well, that's what I said last week. Like, how can you expect these kids to get a chance? People always moan you want to see local talents because we haven't really had. Now I know we've got Trent, but Gerrard and Carragher. Trent's the next one, really, isn't he? Who's made a big thing. And how can you ever expect them kids to get a chance if you're not going to give them the game time?
Exactly. And they can't do it forever.
Yeah.
There's got to come a point where they go, right, okay, we've got these players getting too old now. We need to bring someone established in or whatever. But at the moment, I don't see an issue with it because of the depth in the squad with the youth we've got.
Does Chelsea scare you?
I'll be honest, a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they get I mean, they're still
Because
being
the
linked with
players that the
Sancho
players
now.
they're bringing in,
Yeah, they're still linked with Sancho, but I mean, they've already got Ziyech and Werner.
That Ziyech's a big one, isn't he?
Yeah, his balls are. He's like Trent. He's unbelievable. His
Such
distribution.
a classy player.
Yeah, and it just. I was getting excited at the thought of Trent linking up with Werner. Now Ziyech is like Trent, but plays further up, so he plays probably where Trent should probably play.
Yeah.
He's world class, and I can't believe Chelsea got him for. I think it was something stupid, like 30-40 million.
Yeah.
I can't
for the quality of play.
Yeah, I can't believe no one else
steal,
went in for him. I don't understand why.
There must be some issue or something that.
Yeah, because when you think about it, last year when Ajax sold everyone, he'd stayed.
Yeah.
Why did no one go in for him? And it
Is there some underlying issue? Is there I don't know. It's
screams
some sort of
Nabil
mental
Fekir,
imbalance
doesn't
or
it?
something.
It screams Nabil Fekir to me.
Yeah.
Like there could just be something there.
Something underlying that no one really knows about. He might be a bad influence in the dressing room, or he might have some, I don't know, knee, ankle, whatever problems.
Unless we're both completely wrong, and he's just going to come and prove everyone. But all Chelsea need in my eyes is a keeper. They need to get rid of Kepa, but
Kepa runs the teams, doesn't he?
Oh, pardon me, yeah. But they're serious title challenges next year.
Yeah.
I think City will flop now for a few years. I can see the likes like Sterling and stuff going if they are kicked out the Champions League. Obviously, David Silva's going, which is massive for them. Never have replaced Company. So City actually do need a lot of rebuilding. And
Aguero, fantastic player, but he's coming towards the end of his career.
Yeah, and I think he might end up going back to either like Atletico or go back to Argentina or something.
See him picking up a few more injuries and
play
as much. I mean, Gabriel Jesus, good player, but he's not Aguero, is he? You know?
He's not. And the thing with City is they can't exactly rebuild massively because
the spotlight's on them.
Yeah, it's with FFP and stuff like that. So it could be exciting for Liverpool, but I just can't see anyone else but Chelsea challenging us now. Because United have got a big rebuild on. I mean, if they can convince Haaland to actually still come, that's big. But I think he's destined for Real Madrid or Barca.
Going to United.
It's just with the Norwegian links, isn't it, with Solskjaer and stuff, and he works together at Mould. But he's too good.
He could, if he was going to go to United, he probably would have gone when he went to Dortmund. But
yeah, he's far too good.
That last minute winner he scored.
He just always does it, doesn't he? He's just one of them horrible players who always comes up and delivers the goods, and it just does me head in.
And he's fantastic at interviews, isn't he?
Yeah. But you know what, though? I've seen apparently that's like a lie. Apparently he's really good and people just cut certain things out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've seen a few interviews.
They've made him look like such a dry...
People do anything to knock the kids down, don't they? When the world class, which he is, he's world class.
I don't understand why people do that to him. It's
wrong.
I mean, it's mainstream TV. It's like Sky, BT Sports, whoever it is.
Yeah.
Interviewing him, and if they're cutting it, that's disgraceful.
And what you've got to think as well is everyone's slating him. He could just not be the best at English.
Maybe.
But back to Liverpool, a certain someone's been linked a lot this week, a hell of a lot, to the point that I haven't. When usually it starts ramping up with links, I usually think, oh, this could happen. It's a little Pip, Coutinho. Would you take him back?
Oh, I'm torn on Coutinho, because when he left, I hated him.
Yeah.
I was calling him all sorts of snakes and everything.
But would you not say you got the revenge?
You can't deny his quality.
Yeah, would you not say we got our revenge on him, just knocking him out at Anfield in the Champions League?
Yeah. I mean, you can't argue against having quality players in your squad.
No.
But if that's at the expense of something in the dressing room, or you don't want it to affect the rest of the team. Yeah. Quality-wise, you can't argue. He's one of the best number 10s in the world.
Well, he's come out and said he only wants to come to Liverpool in the Premier League, which is understandable. Alisson, Fabinho, Bobby, etc., all the Brazilians, all his old mates.
If Klopp decides it's a good idea, I'll go with it.
See, everyone's saying that he won't come back while Klopp's the manager, but I just think Klopp is... I know Klopp's a very... it's his team, it's his way about things, but I think Klopp's you can't deny this man's quality. I watched the video yesterday. It was like 3 minutes of someone want to put it on Twitter an edit, and he is world class.
That free kick he scored against Arsenal at the end, it's just...
He's just world class. He just used to dance around with the ball and make it football look easy. And
is he a Klopp type player, or is he when we sold him, what everyone was saying, is he like a flair player that, do you need him? Does he fit into the style?
Liverpool are better without him. 100%, because he was there with Rodgers when we didn't win the league. So yeah, 100% Liverpool are better without him, and we wouldn't have got Alisson and Van Dijk without him.
That's okay for it, yeah.
But if we got him back on a £12 million loan, that's just, for me, that's us doing Barcelona over.
Yeah.
Sell him for like 150 million, get him back on a 12 million loan with the option to buy 40
Is
million.
he on loan at Bayern now, is he?
Yeah.
I thought he'd
Yeah, he's on loan and no one wants him. And I don't know why, because he is world class.
I mean, if I say it's another one of them, it might be his attitude, it might be
Yeah.
a lot of people remembering how he left Liverpool with his, bad back or whatever.
Yeah.
I can't play.
See, that upsets me that he done that, but I'd take him back, and people are slating him for it, but people forget that. I'm not saying Ian Rush faked an injury, but he went to Juventus for a year and come back. So why can't other players do it? Like, nowadays, Liverpool Twitter and Liverpool fans are all like, once you go, you're not coming back.
Nah, it's not. I think it's the way you go.
Yeah.
I think Ian Rush went pretty amicably. I was only really young.
But even like Suarez,
I remember being heartbroken. Suarez gave us his best.
Yeah, and no one really had an issue with him going, but then still booed him at Anfield. I understand Champions League semi-final, blah, 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 but Luis Suarez is the best Liverpool player I've ever seen.
I think why didn't they boo him, because wasn't he a little bit...
He said he had celebrated at Anfield if he scored, but...
Yeah, no, wasn't I'm sure, didn't he have a go at one of our players or something at the...
I think probably Andy Robertson. Andy Robertson was
I think
there
was something happened.
In the first leg, I think he had that little hack at Robertson, but then Robertson also done that to Messi. So that's what some people are so narrow-minded with
I would
Liverpool.
take Suarez back in a heartbeat.
Even that, given his current age?
Yeah.
Because they're meant to be selling.
I think that's more like sort of nostalgia. Really,
yeah,
Suarez.
But actually, I loved Suarez, but Suarez was in a different... Like even Gerrard said, he's in a different league. He is unbelievable.
He's the player my dad, who has watched Liverpool since like the beginning of time.
Yeah.
I've asked him, I was like, who do you think the best ever is? And he's seen Dalglish, he's seen Toshak, he's seen Rush, he's seen Barnes, Beardsley, all them.
Yeah.
And he goes, Luis Suarez. He was just
could do everything, couldn't
he? He was so unpredictable, but he was first to react to every little knock and bounce and everything.
He was like the modern day Gerrard. That was the best way to... I'm not saying he was as good as Steven Gerrard, but I mean in terms of carrying the team when we needed him, because that was when Gerrard was like dying off a bit, weren't he, and stuff, and he was
some of the goals he scored just...
Norwich hated him, wouldn't he? Like, he used to tear at everyone.
Amount of goals against Norwich, and they weren't just tap-ins, they were like from his own half.
The one where he flicked it over the defender's head and then like volleyed
it. That's hat-trick.
Yeah, or the third or fourth, definitely. He's world class. He is world class, but so is Coutinho.
Yeah.
And I would take Coutinho back in a heartbeat. He definitely... He wouldn't go start.
He'd be on the bench.
Yeah, he wouldn't start, but then his options to come off the bench. Yeah. We haven't really got that, and if you're going to buy a player who you're thinking who's going to come and sit on the bench for Liverpool and be an impact sub, Coutinho would, because his career has just fizzled out.
Yeah, he needs it, doesn't
he? Yeah, he needs probably to come and not be in the spotlight, not be the main man in the club anymore, because he wouldn't
just come and do little bits here and then make his name again.
But Liverpool don't have a main man anymore. We've got 12 men, including the fans.
Yeah.
And that's what I always say. That's what, like, we are the 12th man, aren't we? So, but in the terms of the team, there's no... Obviously, Alisson's world class, Van Dijk's world class, but
the issue there is we've got that many brilliant players. No one really can stand out because everyone's outstanding.
The only person he could really dislodge, well, he's getting a new contract now, which I'm made up about, Gini. He's not dislodging Henderson.
Oh, no.
And he's not dislodging Fabinho, so it's only really Gini. But yeah,
I'm wondering.
I'd alternate them. I know we've got the Ox as well, but Keita, Naby lad, he's exciting me. He's exciting.
And Minamino.
Yeah.
Minamino bagged the goal as well.
About time, isn't it? I've been back on Minamino since the day he signed. He's going to score a screamer.
And yeah, like, this is a good time now to have 5 subs.
Yeah.
Because all these players who might not get a game, might not even get a sub appearance, will probably get sub appearances now because it's allowed.
Yeah, I've seen that, like, because obviously you can make 5 subs, there's 9 on the bench. And I think Klopp is going to give there's medals to like Andy Lonergan and stuff, so you're probably going to see them getting a game, and if we want to win the league, Andy Lonergan could play every game if he wants, because
Adrian's got his, because he got his
he starts at the start of the season, and Andy Lonergan's he's a model professional really. He's come to Liverpool, he knows he'd never get a game, and he's just like seeing his career out, and apparently he's meant to be like really out the club. I can probably see him maybe going into coaching roles or something like that after it. But it's mad because people say, oh, he's a nobody keeper, but neither was John Achtenberg. Realistically, coaching the best in the world, isn't he? So you've got to say he's the best goalkeeper coach in the world because he's coaching the best in the world. Yeah. And I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of him because I just thought that years ago he used to make keepers when they come go worse. But
he's improved.
He's improved Alisson. He's massively improved Alisson. Because the only time I seen Alisson be prior sign for Liverpool was when we put 4 or 5 was it past him at Anfield, and Salah just took the absolute mick out of them. Yeah. So yeah, he's obviously the best goalkeeper coach in the world now, and like you said, do we really need anybody else in the team? The only one I would probably buy, obviously in an ideal world, I'll take Mbappe. But I'm seeing rumours that they're going to have to sell Mane to fund Sancho or Mbappe, and I don't want that. No. If we're going to get Sancho and we lose a Mane, I don't want it.
No, keep Mane. Why risk? We've got a perfect winger there.
Yeah, Sadio Mane is the best player in the world. Yeah, he really is.
So why?
He's best than Salah.
Yeah, why?
I love Salah, but
Salah's stats
you can't get rid of them. Yeah, but Mane can't sell Mane. Nah, not into that.
No, there's no theory. Would you sell him for Mbappe though?
I'd sell Salah for Mbappe.
No, Mane. No. There's no one in the world you'd sell Mane for.
No. There really isn't. He's world class. And he's just one of them players who he goes under the radar because of Salah, and I think that helps him. And I think if Mbappe came in, it'd knock Salah's confidence, so he wouldn't be the player he is. I mean, because Salah's a very, very, very confident player. Yeah. If he's not got confidence, he's shocking.
Yes, you see him shooting where he shouldn't shoot. He's trying to take on players.
It's like this Chelsea Salah, isn't it? Really, where he's just got no confidence, and I wouldn't sell anyone for Sadio Mane. Him and Robertson just work.
27?
27, 28.
Yeah, line's about 49 now, isn't it?
Yeah, I couldn't believe that. He's got the worst one. I mean, like, Van Dijk obviously is always looking a prime of a man. Like my dog, twice named after him. But, yeah, I couldn't believe Sadio. It was shocking.
Speaking of hairlines, have you seen Ashley Young?
Oh, yeah, he's growing afro, hasn't he?
It's like the guy's been like
bald
on purpose for a decade.
And now
then Manny comes back with no hair.
It's mad, but he's still... Nah, no one can go for Mane. Nobody... I would rather have Mane than Mbappe. That's a bold statement.
That's bold. That is bold.
But I personally think Mbappe is going to end up at Real Madrid. He's a Real Madrid one, and Real Madrid get him. Real Madrid go over bloody hell they want.
I don't think we would pay the money for Mbappe.
The only way I can see Mbappe coming would be for Salah going, because Salah's huge in the Middle East, and obviously they're owned by Qatari owners and stuff. I mean, just look at the Club World Cup. Salah got both the awards because he sort of had to. Yeah. Because he's like the poster boy for like Middle East, isn't he? So in a deal with like say Salah and 50 mil for Mbappe, something stupid like that, that's a deal I could see happening.
Then would the club pay the wages? Because Mbappe must be on
400 grand a week, I think.
I can't see. That would be a whole new wage restructure for the club.
Yeah, because Van Dijk's new deal's only meant to be 220, and he's the highest paid ever.
It's usually captain gets the highest wages, isn't it?
Yeah, but Henderson's not getting more than Virgil van Dijk. I love Henderson.
They can have it out in the dressing room. Yeah, who gets the highest
Van Dijk. Being honest, Van Dijk's the next captain, isn't he? Like, so he is going to be the highest paid, and I don't know. I think with Mbappe we might pay 200, and I could go half because in terms of the
revenue from sales.
Yeah, because although they've got PSG, but it's hard because PSG, Liverpool probably sell more shirts than PSG. But then PSG is probably more of a fashion statement in terms of people wear the PSG shirts to go out and stuff like that. And a lot of people know of PSG for that, and obviously the Jordan kit, which I'm hoping, by the way, we get a Jordan kit, that'd be sick. But PSG are more of a fashion statement, so obviously it's in Paris and stuff like that. Yeah. But people say that, but I don't think there's anywhere more inward fashion in Liverpool. Scouse lads know how to dress.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So maybe Killian wants to come shop in Liverpool one instead of Paris Fashion Week.
He knows where it's at.
Yeah. Karius. I just want to touch on him again because I don't know if you've actually seen the full article. I'll put it on the screen if you're watching on YouTube. I'll get it up.
I've seen sort of headlines and the sort of basis of what he was saying. And I read it and I was like, you're having a laugh.
The top, you type it in now, Karius on Google, top 3 stories. He comes out and says, half the Premier League wanted me before I went to Manchester City. Sound. He says that there's no world-class goalkeepers.
In the Premier League?
No, only Manuel Neuer. There's been no one world-class since Neuer was in form, right?
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
And he said he's prepared to fight for his chance as a second choice because he believes he'll get chances and be able to dislodge Alisson.
I'm lost for words, to be honest with you.
It just goes from bad. I mean, the fact half Premier League wants them, I can sort of believe he had high hopes as a youth. But then he went to City and he reckons that ruined his career. But City was shocking when he first went there. It's only recent years, obviously. They had the money, but they were buying, like Stephen Ireland and stuff like that, didn't they? They weren't buying well.
Joe.
Yeah, they just bought anyone really with a name. But then his statements about Alisson infuriates me. Like, this is a fella who is hated by Liverpool fans.
You could understand it if he'd done something with his career.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
If he had maybe went to Besiktas, won the leagues and stuff like that.
Yeah, he'd come back with his chest puffed out and I'm the man.
I mean, I know he got off from them because they weren't paying him, understandable, but they were paying the rest of the players.
He didn't exactly set the world on fire over there when he was playing,
he was.
You know what I mean?
He had a few good.
Average.
Yeah, he had a few good games, and a few times when I was over there, he was all right, but he dropped the ball in like his third game. This is very similar to the Bale instance. And one of my friends over in Turkey, Ismail, hates him, absolutely despises him. So
he's more about image than football.
Yeah, he's a model, isn't he? That's what he needs to be.
Good
really.
looking fella, like, but he's just rubbish at football.
Yeah, and I remember, I'll never forget. Like, after we lost the Champions League final, I was in work and he lived up by Caldy, and I went on a walk and I seen his dog's boss at Pomsky on the drive, and I was just thinking, oh, that little he's in there. But
the port, to be fair to them, he probably went through hell.
Yeah, he
Mentally,
did.
He probably went through absolute
We're
hell.
not the most forgiving fan base in the world.
But
we
we're
are
the most loving.
Yeah, we're a very
like.
intense fan base, but this is a fellow who's coming in already hated, will probably get booed, and he's now saying that Alisson's not world class.
If he'd come back, gets his gob shut,
and
just see what happens, it would have been all right. Fair play to him. He's having a go.
I mean, he did
come back with a big mouth like that when you've done that, and it's.
I mean, he did say, like, obviously, I want to be at Liverpool, the best club in the world, training with the best players that will improve me.
So do I. You'll see me getting a contract.
When he played for us, the only difference is Alisson, really, because we had Van Dijk in that final. So he's played with Liverpool. Haven't changed the team really for years.
No, not the spine of it anyway.
No. So why does he think now he's going to be better after playing in Turkey with all no names? Because that's where the Turkey's like a place where people go to retire, similar to America, isn't it? Because
still pay quite well and
it's
not quite as physical or whatever.
And the fans there, man. I went to Bodrum. I go there every time. I go to Turkey and they're in the equivalent of League One over here, and their fans are mad. Mad.
Flares and everything.
Yeah, they're absolutely crazy, and they'll probably never make it into the Turkish Super League. They're absolutely awful. I don't think I've ever seen them win in all the years I've been going there.
But the fans give it beans every time.
Yeah, it's worth going. It's unbelievable. If I've got a video, I'll try and whack it up on YouTube.
Is it ever any like trouble, or is it just passion? Is it just
passion? Like, just pure passion.
They don't fight with each other too.
No, and then all the stands have like a platform at the bottom where they have one of the ultras onto, and they have ultras even in that league. And like, if the video I've got, if I can get it up, I'll put it on the screen. The stadium's half empty, but there's just one stand, and it's like
bouncing.
It could probably make as much noise as like the Cop.
Yeah.
They are wild in Turkey. They are really good fans. So it's not even like he went to a club where he'd be hated, Karius. He went to a club where the fans are crazy. The Turkish fans are absolutely crazy.
So they made a name for himself and being loved.
Yeah. Well, look at Dirk Kuyt is adored in Turkey for when it was time at Fenerbahce. Similar to Skrtel. Skrtel stayed over there because he was at Fenerbahce, and then was it Fenerbahce? Yeah, it was at Fenerbahce.
I can't remember.
And then he went to Atalanta, but then they said he wanted to play in a back three, and he refused. So now he's at Istanbul Besiktas, but then Robinho's there as well, and he'd been.
Was he the guy that was at City?
Yeah, this Istanbul Besiktas, I think they're run by like the Turkish drug cartel or something like that. They were like, they've got everyone you can think of, but they're all old and they're shocking. But yeah, he's there and he's loved over there because he's good.
Yeah.
And we probably did sell Skate a little bit too early. I'd rather have him back up than Deggs he got from right.
How many appearances has Lovren got this season? Is he looking at getting a medal? Is he?
He's going to end up getting a 10, isn't he? And it just makes me think.
Don't they need 10?
No, 5. Sorry, it's 5. It changed in 2013. But 5 games for Dejan Lovren's too much. That's like I don't want us to
get the league zone up first.
Yeah, I don't want us to lose. I don't want us to lose any more games. And Dejan Lovren is he has one of the best in the world. He says,
of course, yeah, he's up there with Karius, isn't he?
Yeah, what do you reckon? He infuriates me.
He's another one, big mouth.
It's even just this little stuff like Salah, obviously in the Sainsbury's and Old Swan paid for everyone's fuel the other day. Yeah. So then the next day, Lovren said, "Next time I'm at the gas station, the fuel's on me." And it's like, why? Do you know what I mean? Like, just leg it. Like, let Salah have his moment. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It does me head in.
To his little mate.
Yeah, it's crazy, and I don't understand why you'd do that to somebody who you regard as like one of your really good mates. It's backwards.
You should. I mean, things like that, good gestures and that. You don't need to advertise it. If you're gonna do it, just do it because you're a nice guy. Don't do it for like Instagram likes or.
I think that's what
get one over on your mate or whatever. Yeah. Just do it and be nice and don't tell anyone.
Exactly. It's the way you'd look at it, but it's Dejan Lovren, isn't it?
Yeah, the most generous guy in the world as well as the best footballer in the world.
Oh. Do you know what? They're right. I'd probably pay his petrol to do one. If I'm honest. I don't like him. I really don't. I think he's shocking and we don't need him.
And if my mate Mac is listening now, he's going to be crying because he absolutely loves him.
I don't know why. I don't know how anyone can think he's good. He's absolutely awful.
He works for another radio station down south, a big one. And for some reason,
they all love him.
I don't know what it is.
I mean, he had a good World Cup for Croatia, to be fair, but he's had some good games for Liverpool, love him, but he's got a mistake in him every game.
And that's the problem. So yeah. He's an alright defender. He's won it at that.
He's good enough.
His biggest moment was against Dortmund at Anfield, wasn't it?
Yeah.
When he got that last minute
injury
time winner.
He's good enough for the Prem. Everton is his level. Really, like mid-table, not really going anywhere.
Just keep your mouth shut.
Yeah, he just talks too much, doesn't he? Like, he just talks too much. He says, like, we're going to finish the league invincible, and we didn't. And then he was like, I'm one of the best in the world. You're not. Just shut your mouth. He just does me head in. He just talks too much. Love him. On to Arsenal City, talking about bad defenders. David Luiz is, I don't know if you've seen that goal Brentford scored against Arsenal. He is.
I've heard it was awful. It was David Luiz all over. Like,
Arsenal bought him to fix their defensive problems, and
that's not the way you do it.
No, definitely not. Arsenal's keeper Leno is all right, but David Luiz,
it's like his brain switches off.
Yeah.
You see moments and he just gets off and you're like, where are you going?
I know. What are you doing? Well, we did with this goal. He tried to header it on the halfway line when he was the last line of defence. And then this Brentford player, I don't know his name, don't watch League One, I think they're in. He literally just headed it off him and just ran and scored. And it was just like...
There's a time and a place to go and win the ball.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's behind closed doors, but...
to know when that is.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. Like, obviously... First thing I want to ask you is, do you want to win the league at Goodison Park?
I don't care if we win the league on the moon. Just get it done. I would take it at Goodison, Anfield, Southampton, Wembley.
I don't want it at Goodison.
You know, I do.
As much as it would be amazing, absolutely amazing, because of that song, you lost the league, Goodison Park last year, it'd be amazing. But then, I mentioned it on the pod last week, when you think back to the Champions League last year, obviously everyone thinks of Divock and the goal, the win there. But if you actually say, give me your best image from that Champions League campaign, many people will probably say Henderson on the floor. You know, when the final whistle against Barca rolling around and the images of Van Dijk dropping. Anfield's in the background.
It's going to be empty though.
This is what I mean. But would you rather, regardless of when we win this league, whether it be against Everton or against Palace, provided we win both, which we definitely will. Touch wood. But them images are going to be etched in Liverpool history forever and ever. And it's the first time we've won the Premier League, first time people like me have ever seen us win a league. Henderson and all that, regardless, they're going to drop to the ground. Whether there's fans there or not, they've just won the Premier League. Do you want them images of like Van Dijk and that dropping to the ground, with Wooderson in the background.
Honestly,
I'd rather an empty Anfield with that fantastic main
look
stand.
at it from the other side of the coin now. How much of a knife would that be in the Everton fans' back? Our greatest moment in Premier League history.
At their
and all you
ground.
can see is their empty stadium full of like wooden posts and that.
For that, yeah, but I just think like Anfield is gorgeous. It's such a nice stadium.
Don't get me wrong, I would like to win it at Anfield, but I also wouldn't care if we won it at Goodison. It's all good.
Right. Okay, so you aren't bothered. That's a good
bothered.
answer. But so, can you see... I know the answer. Can you see Arsenal doing us a favour?
Absolutely not.
And this is what's funny, because everyone is thinking we're going to win the league next Sunday and we're not. And I don't want to shout.
Our only sort of saving grace on Arsenal possibly beating City is that City are going to be rusty. Everyone's going to be rusty. What's the first few games of the German league when that started up? Nothing really.
Well, look at Schalke. David Wagner's probably on the verge of getting sacked now. And he was flying before lockdown.
I mean, you just don't know how teams are going to come back.
Dortmund
Obviously, the only team
against Dusseldorf, shocking.
Yeah. The only team you know who's going to come back and win every game is us, obviously.
6-0. It was only against Blackburn, but really, out of all the behind closed doors games, Liverpool are the ones who like went for it. And obviously I didn't see team news, but it seems like he played some of the kids because Clarkson scored the 6th.
I would say he made quite a few changes throughout the game and stuff. But say Naby Keita looks like he's absolutely flying.
If we get half of what he was at Leipzig, we're in for a player. But
baller at Leipzig.
He's got to prove himself. I think he's got another year after this season finishes. I think he's got one more season. He needs to stop getting injured and being pushed off the ball.
The guy's made out of biscuits. He's like me.
Yeah.
He only has to look at someone and he falls over and breaks his leg or something.
But if he keeps fit, like he seems like he's bulked up. Seems like a lot of players have bulked up during the lockdown. And that's what he probably needed, to be honest. Like the Premier League's physical. People don't think people realise how physical.
And he's only quite a small guy, isn't he?
Yeah, and people think he's only like 22, 23 still. He's a kid. Yeah. He is a kid at the end of the day. So I think it's just because it was a big money sign, 50 million, and then he hasn't set the world alight.
Reputation.
Yeah, and he battered snapped someone to get his move to Liverpool. And that's when I was like, yeah, I thought when he done that, I thought
he was like, bit of bite.
Yeah, a little Luis Suarez type player. Yeah. But he hasn't provided that, and I think that's what he needs. He needs that fiery personality.
And he hasn't got much time left to prove it.
No, definitely not.
Not with the big price tag he came with. He's got to start.
He has really. He's got like if he sets the world right towards the end of the season, comes back all guns blazing next year, maybe. Yeah. And obviously next season won't be interrupted anymore because they're putting the African Cup of Nations back here. Another reason why I think we won't buy anyone, because I think we only need to buy someone for the African Cup of Nations to cover Salah and Mane and stuff like that. Which obviously we don't need to this year, so. But yeah, I'd love to have him back, but I think Arsenal will win City.
I'd love it. I'm going all Kevin Keegan now. I would love it.
I don't want them to, because I want us to win it at Anfield. As much as I'd get a good 5-10 minutes of buzzing, texting all the Blues and stuff like
Arsenal
that.
beat City and then Everton beat us.
Oh, don't even say that. Don't even say that. I mean, I said it, didn't I, on the podcast a few months ago when we lost to Watford. Was it Watford?
Yeah, Watford beat us.
Yeah. That I wasn't bothered because now United aren't the only blemish on the perfect record, and that was doing me head in more than us having a perfect record because it was them. Yeah. If Everton beats us, no. They can't.
It's never going to happen.
They're so bad, Everton. Yeah. Like, and I don't know if when you've been watching the Bundesliga, I don't know if you've seen John Joe Kenny at Schalke. Why he's being loaned out to Schalke and not playing for Everton is beyond me. He is probably better than anything he's got.
He's been brilliant.
Their transfer policy, it just shows Will Kenwright's still involved because he makes some mad decisions. Yeah. Mad decisions.
Unless it was Kenny's decision. But I think Everton have probably put that decision in his hands by not playing him.
Yeah, definitely. It's similar to Harry Wilson, isn't it? I'd like to see him stay. I think if we don't buy anyone, he might. Yeah. And come off the bench because
some of the goals he scored for Bournemouth have been unbelievable.
He's a good player. And
track and left foot on him.
I used to watch a lot of the academy, and he was the shining light, even more so than Trent, really. Like when you watch the academy, Harry Wilson was the one there was only slightly different age groups. Yeah. But Harry Wilson was the one you'd always pick up on.
He was the one. I mean, he was the one doing bits going forward, though, wasn't he? So
yeah,
and they're always the ones that get the name for themselves.
He is. He trains his free kicks at Gareth Bale. Regardless of what anyone says, Gareth Bale's one of the best free kick takers in the world. So I'd like to see him. He's good off the bench. He's better than Shaqiri, for example, who apparently we're getting 30 mil for off Newcastle.
Wow.
So I'll drive him up the tune for that.
Is that to Newcastle by any chance?
Yeah. Everyone's going to fleece them, aren't they?
Yeah,
the worst thing they could do is announce how much money they had because...
Yeah, you just double what you want for your player.
Yeah.
You can have
it's ridiculous. And if we get 30 mil for Shaq, I'd take that all day. Yeah. All day of the week. But yeah, I am an Arsenal fan for this week.
What day do they play?
Thursday.
Is that the first game?
No. This is what confused me. The first game is...
like 2 mid-table teams or something that's kicking it all off with 2 average teams.
Yeah, it's like... I'll find out for you.
So it's not like a showcase game, is it, to start it all off with?
No, it's like I'm sure it's... Yeah, Aston Villa, Sheffield United Wednesday at 6 o'clock. And then after that, we've got Arsenal City, which is at 8:15. So, there's footy on every day of the week, which is fantastic. My missus is going to be fuming, but she's had 12 weeks without it. So, but yeah, Aston Villa, Sheffield United. I said last week it was a bad game to start on, but then I've been thinking about it. And Sheffield United are challenging for Europe.
True.
So it's a good... And Aston Villa are fighting relegation. So it's actually quite a good game
to play for, I guess.
Yeah.
So it's not like just a boring mid-table.
No.
Neither team have got anything to play with. Then it's fine.
But then I personally, if I was the Premier League, I would have put City on at 6 against Arsenal and then Liverpool on at 8:15. Because imagine that could be built
up.
That's
like your Super Sunday or whatever.
Yeah, on like the first day back. What better way to do it than having the league could be won on the first game back? Because they're saying like I know
both networks got. Sorry, are both games on the same TV network though?
The TV networks are mad, to be honest. Because
if
BBC's broadcasting again, aren't they? Yeah. BT's got some, Sky have got some. Every Amazon. Game's on telly. Yeah. I haven't heard of Amazon on these ones, no. Which is mad because I really enjoyed their stuff over Christmas.
I was speaking to me family in Germany. I was watching like one of the German matches who they've got a season ticket with. And I was watching it on BT Sport and I was texting saying, this is the game I was supposed to be coming over for. I can't believe it, blah, blah, blah. It's like, we're not even watching it because it's on Amazon. I was like...
All the Bundesliga for us has been on BT, hasn't it?
For us, yeah, but I mean...
I haven't seen of any on Amazon. I could be wrong. I know all Liverpool's are on Sky Sports, right. Which is surprising because BT have seem like they're throwing a lot of money out. I thought they got them, but there's a few tasty games, to be honest. Tottenham are playing United on a Friday, and then there's like... Arsenal playing again on the Saturday, which is mad because Arsenal playing twice before we play once. But I know Liverpool have been proper shafted. Like the reason they've done it is because Sunday, 7 o'clock kickoff. If we win it, everyone's back in work on Monday. And then the next game
Wednesday,
we could potentially win. It's Wednesday at 8 o'clock. Now I don't care. I'm having a party in my garden with 6 socially distant friends in my garden.
Yeah, but I'll be socially distantly hugging them all.
Yeah,
when we win the league.
Definitely. I've wanted my dog at top and everything. But yeah, like. The way the games have come back, to me, I was a bit confused with them, to be honest, in the sense of like Arsenal playing twice before us and stuff like that.
Did they have game in hand on us or anything, or is it just?
I think all the leagues, level.
Yeah,
because there was only games behind because like people were catching coronavirus, weren't we? Yeah. They might have missed one actually because Arteta was one of the first people to test for it, so they might be one behind.
A game or something.
Yeah, but. I haven't heard nothing of City though, in terms of like you've heard like United lost to West Brom apparently didn't they, and then Arsenal lost to Brentford. Yeah. But Liverpool's behind closed doors, and you've seen little teams doing little bits here and there, but City have just been silent, which makes me think like have they just give up on the league because they're going to want to. Remember when Liverpool in the Champions League in 2005 we didn't qualify for it. And then there was the big statements that they've got the winners have got to be in it. Yeah. So I think City are on guns blazing for this Champions League this year because if they win it, can they get kicked out of the Champions League? Can you play a Champions League without the holders in it? After all that huffle and puffle Liverpool had, rightfully so, how can they just bend the rules again? I mean, I don't love it.
Yeah, I mean, if you're banned, you just can't play, simple as.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want them to win it. I don't think they've...
Because remember... in the 80s when Evertonians will never let us forget it.
Oh, they've got them all banned from
Europe. Exactly, yeah. So whether they qualified or not.
Yeah. I don't think they'd win it anyway. You know who's a good shout for the Champions League this year? Atletico Madrid.
Because they beat us.
Yeah, I mean, the owner's saying they should be awarded because they beat us.
I seen that.
It's literally like funny. Beating Liverpool these days is like winning the trophy, isn't it?
Like you dribble past Van Dijk, you get a little star next to your name.
First one to do that was Minamino.
Yeah.
And from then on, I was
that became a stat, didn't it?
Yeah, he's the first person to do it. And people are saying, where's he been? Like, look at Robertson, and now he is going to be good. Minamino will be good. To be completely honest, that when we played against Salzburg, I was in the main stand, and like I've always said, them seats are bosh. You can see the whole pitch.
I was about 10 rows behind you.
Yeah, and Minamino is one of the first players that's come to Anfield in recent years and genuinely excited me to watch him. There was this big hype around Haaland when he come, and Minamino really excited me. He was everywhere, and then there was another one. Can't think of his name. I think he might have been a Korean fella.
I think I remember the two of them.
Yeah, and they just run rings around us. They absolutely dominated us. But then sometimes with players like that, when you take them away from what they're used to, it takes a while. Yeah. Andy Robertson and Fabinho are the prime examples, and I just trust anything that Jurgen does or says with the club. Yeah. Derby, though, what a game to come back to.
You couldn't ask for more, could you?
I could ask for Everton to be alright.
Is that still off the cards?
No, I think they could still go down.
Happen, but it's fun just to bring it up as a start.
One thing I will say about Everton is they impressed me massively over lockdown. I seen the other day Ancelotti's now went down to 50% of his wage to help pay for the non-playing staff, like the club shop people and stuff.
They are a good sort of community.
Fantastic. Every Premier League club should take inspiration from Everton. That's coming from Base of Red. Yeah. They are absolutely fantastic with Everton in the community, the way the club's ran. It is the people's club, and it hurts me to say it, especially when we tried to furlough staff, and that really didn't do me head in because I understood it from a business point of view.
It's a business, so if something's available to you as a business,
fleece the Tories for Everton you've got. But I do admire Everton. I really do admire Everton for the work they do in the community, how they handle things, stuff like that. But I can't wait to see all the Ancelotti crying on them touchlines when we do them again. I'm not a fan of Ancelotti. I don't know why. Not because he's an Everton manager. I just don't like him.
I've never had an issue with him myself.
Yeah,
I've seen a few interviews where he's made jokes with ex-Liverpool players and stuff about that
he loves
Liverpool from 2005.
He loves the club. Remember when he was at Real Madrid and he got the big photo shoot that this is Anfield sign, all the Everton fans are fuming. But then he's too good for them. He's look at the teams he's had.
I couldn't believe when he went to Everton. The name, the size of him as a name.
That's why they won't buy anyone for a while, because they put all the money into Ancelotti. And it's only part of having a world-class manager. Like look at Liverpool, we put every faith into Klopp. Everton in a few years probably will be good if he stays. But you've got to keep him.
Just for the love of God.
Yeah.
Don't put up a red Christmas tree.
But then even that, he didn't give Koeman time. Ronald Koeman's one of the best managers in the world. Look how he's done at Holland, completely revitalised the national team. So that's one thing Everton fans are useless at. They don't give the managers time. And David Moyes is the best manager they've had in recent years, which is mad because he's shocking. But if they give Ancelotti time,
he's one of them though. He sort of fit the club.
Yeah,
he worked. He was in the right place.
Working class man, basically. Yeah. But if they give Ancelotti time, Liverpool and Everton will be like the 80s again. Yeah. But they need to give him time. And they need to let him see what kids he's got there, because some of Everton's kids are world class, like there's a lad who it was the year like me in school, Joe Williams, he's at Wigan now. He's unbelievable.
It's whether he's interested in that though. Is he that type of manager? Where he
he's going to have to be at Everton, aren't he? Because it's not like he can go and buy your Kakas and your Didas like he did at AC Milan or your Cristiano Ronaldo at Real Madrid.
Doesn't have to be. If he doesn't want to be, he can just get off. That's not what he's into.
Can he though? Because he was at Napoli, second fiddle to Juventus and Lazio, and that they were good, but they always done us, but they weren't.
Watched Napoli last night against Inter, a decent game.
Oh, I didn't see that. I seen Christian Eriksen's corner though, but
that was goalkeeping.
But when you think of like Ancelotti's career, it's sort of been on a downward spiral. True. Napoli are a good team, and I do like Napoli. However, they're not. I don't think he won anything there, did he? Even when he got knocked out of the Champions League, he didn't even do the Europa League. And given the team he had, because that was when they had did they have a Cardi? Am I right? No, was he at Inter? Who was a Cardi?
Cardi was at Inter.
They had Mertens, didn't they?
They've still got Mertens.
They had Callahan. Was he there for
He's
a bit?
still there, yeah.
Hamshik was there.
Yeah.
I mean, they had a good team. Like they should have at least been challenging for Europa League. So he's sort of been on the decline. So if he stays, I mean, Joe Williams is gone now, and there's another lad, Liam Walsh, from Highton. I think he's at Wigan now. But these were two, like, I mean, I don't watch Everton's academy, but from what I remembered, they were world class players. And Joe Williams even got goal of the season in the Championship last year when he was on loan. But now he's officially signed for Wigan. He's unbelievable, to be honest. And there was a Wigan fan in our work over Christmas, and he said he's the best player at Wigan.
Nice.
And I was probably not hard, but but he is good. And this is where Everton are backwards, because these, like, have you seen the thing? They got rid of Omar Niasse, didn't they? And replaced them with that Graben. Or Gababin, or whatever it is. But now Gababin is getting replaced by Niasse again. He's coming back. I was just like, how Everton can you get? And then the shirt thing going to Hummel. Obviously, I'm not going to badmouth Hummel because Stevie G has to wear them with Rangers.
Yeah.
But they haven't got the kids' socks and shorts ready till January next year. It's just...
did you see there was a bit of a to-do on Twitter over one of the sponsors? Kazoo or whatever the hell it is.
Oh yeah, and they've got red in the logo.
But it's orange. So there's loads of people complaining, saying, "Oh,
is it orange? Is it?"
Well, there's loads of Everton fans like atting them on Twitter, going, "Oh, you need to get rid of the red," blah, blah. And they responded to one saying, "Oh, that's thanks for your feedback, but it's orange."
They're so. Do you know if Klopp put a blue tree up, I wouldn't care. And they done it with Coleman. It's just like, I can understand why they're bitter and twisted. They haven't won anything. Like I've got mates who are Everton fans who've never seen the club win anything. And every time they've got close, more or less, Liverpool's knocked them out. So I can understand the hatred in a sense.
Against the club, not the colour red.
Yeah, it's crazy. But I know some Blues who, like, there's the OG 110s that are red, and I know some Everton fans that won't buy them because they're red on them. Like, I've got the blue version of the OGs. I don't care, me. I love the colour blue, and like in clothes terms. I wouldn't wear Everton blue though.
Even though royal blue.
Yeah, I'm very particular. It's got to be navy or light blue. Never ever royal blue because it's too close to Everton.
But you'd have a blue bauble on your Christmas tree.
Nah, my tree's silver. My tree's silver. I want the red one. I want a Klopp at the top, but I didn't get what I wanted, to be honest.
That would be hysterical. See Jurgen Klopp just at the top of your tree with a big grin on his face.
Well, Jurgen Klopp's getting tattooed onto me when we win the league.
Really?
Yeah, I'm getting Klopp on me.
His name or his face?
His face. I always said to me missus and stuff and my mates that if he'd done it, I would get it. I know my tattoo artist got Jurgen last year when we won the Champions League. And I always said if we do the league, ultimately, he's the best manager I've ever seen at Liverpool.
How many people do you think got Rafa tattoos on them when we won the Champions League and are looking at it now going...
A few. But I'd never think that over Klopp because he'd give us that first league. Like, dare I say it? Because he's not going at the minute he's nowhere near as successful as Shankly and Paisley. But he's in the same breath with them. He really is in the same breath with them. Like, Klopp's put...
If he stays for another 5 years, he'll be...
Klopp put Liverpool back on the map. Klopp has put Liverpool back on our pitch. And no, that's down to Klopp. Like, obviously it's half the team, but it's down to Klopp. He is world class. And if you ask me now, if you would have asked me when he first come, I would have said he'll probably do a few years and then go into a sabbatical.
Yeah.
Like he done with Dortmund. I think he'll finish his career at Mainz as a manager.
That's where he started, isn't it?
Yeah, that's where he started his manager career. It looks like they're going down anyway to the second tier Bundesliga. So he's probably going to end up finishing not even in the spotlight and then bringing them back up and then going. Because that's what he done the first time with Mainz. But I think we're going to have Klopp for, dare I say it, touch wood. I mean, I want Stevie, but I think Klopp could be a Ferguson-esque.
I hope so.
I really do. Like
that longevity with a manager, don't you?
Yeah, and he loves us. He absolutely loves the club.
Loves the area and
everything. Yeah, loves the fans. His neighbour, Steven Gerrard, and do you know what I mean? One thing I can see happening now is Stevie, when I've listened to recent stuff, he is fed up at Rangers. Absolutely fed up.
I haven't paid much attention to Scottish League.
You know what, Stevie's funny.
It, haven't they, anyway?
Yeah, they've swerved it, but he's funny. Like, in terms of interviews, it's just as though he's still a footy player because in his interviews he just doesn't care. He just goes mad. But yeah, he slagged his team now before a few times, Stevie. But I can see Stevie maybe when Klopp is on his way out, whether that be in 3 years, 4 years, 10 years. I think Stevie's probably going to come in
Like as an assistant.
Yeah, with like with
some
Linders and
role or
like
whatever,
Peter Kravitz and stuff or whatever. I think it's Peter Kravitz or something mad like that. I think Gerrard will come in because he's always said he wants to work with Jurgen. So I think after Rangers he'll come and be like a assistant manager type thing in Liverpool.
I think he's cracking on at Jurgen now for a little loan move for a few games.
Yeah, I love it, wouldn't he? That's one thing that hurts me about the Premier League, like the fact that he hasn't got it. But he's going to win it with as the manager. I've got every faith in it. If I was a better man, I'd put money on Gerrard winning the league with Liverpool as manager. Fair season back.
Fair season.
Because if Gerrard was to come in now, if Klopp was to... I'm in two minds. I've heard people saying Klopp could go this year or next year.
Like this year now, at the end of the season?
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't believe it.
I can't.
But I can understand it.
You're going out on a high. Whatever,
yeah.
But
what else can he win at Liverpool?
Yeah, but...
I don't think he will. But one thing that worries me is the first time he won the league with Dortmund, they were shocking. The year after, finished like 9th.
Right.
And I think that might be in Klopp's mind. I'd love him to stay. Love him to stay forever. Give him a lifetime deal.
yeah.
But I don't know.
I personally wouldn't want Gerrard coming in straight after Klopp.
I don't want Gerrard to come in after Rangers. I want Gerrard to... Scottish football's abysmal. Abysmal.
You can't really test yourself, can you?
No, it's abysmal. And
he's better off in like the
I don't care if Scottish fans think that there's quality there. They're not.
The Championship's better?
Yeah, the Championship's a really good league, to be honest. But yeah, do what... To an extent... We could be wrong because Lampard's done well at Chelsea.
Yeah.
And he only got that off the back of being Frank Lampard, same as what Gerrard would be.
But he did the spell at Derby, didn't he, in the Championship?
Yeah, but he done nothing there really other than knock United out.
It's enough.
Yeah. But he didn't get promotion and stuff, did he? Which it looks like they're going to get this year. But Derby are a weird club. They like to have something big, like Rooney. Rooney's paid for by first two red though, isn't he? Yeah, so, I mean, I don't like Derby anyway. Leeds are the worst. Don't want them to come up. All my missus' family are Leeds fans.
Yeah, but it's just an extra 6 points a year, isn't it?
I don't know why I hate them though. I have just never liked them. I don't know if it's because it's just like Leeds United, Manchester United, and they're close, and they used to be good, didn't they? They used to be. They used to be well. Like Viduka and Kuhl. I mean, they were well. Yeah.
They had a good team back then. Like
I remember being made up when they got relegated. Proper made up.
I've never had an issue with Leeds.
Though, as a place, it's lovely. I love Leeds.
No, I don't.
Well, as a team, I don't know. I just don't like them. I don't know why. I really don't know why. I don't know if my dad hated them, so
maybe.
I hated them. I really don't know. But back to Derby. What's your team going to be? I'll start with. It's pretty much straightforward. The usual: Alisson, Trent.
Before you start, is there any injuries that you know of?
Salah and Robertson. But it's been in the media that Salah and Robertson missed out this Blackburn game. Have been sitting out of training. The amount of times Liverpool players have sat out of games but then started. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So I'll pick.
Assuming they're fit.
Assuming they're fit, it'll be the usual like Alisson, Trent, Gomez, Van Dijk, Robertson, Fabinho, Henderson, Gini, Salah, Mane, Firmino. If they're not fit, I'd probably say Milner at left back, and then
Minamino,
the Ox. I
find he's not as effective out on the wing.
He's better down the centre, yeah. But I just like the Ox. Remember when, like with Gerrard, you just knew he'd hit it if he had to. He'd just hit it, wouldn't he? The Ox is like that. If like
he's got an eye, hasn't he?
He'll just give it a go, and something 9 out of 10 times he might not go in. But I like that he's not trying to walk into the goal. He'll just hit it. Because sometimes Liverpool are frustrating when they do play the tiki-taka to try and go into the goal, but the Ox will just whack it. Probably would say Minamino or...
Would you put Keita there? Or is he wasted out there as well?
He'd be wasted out there.
Because I know he's played him there, hasn't he, on the left, I think.
I'm going to go bold and say Harvey Elliott if Salah's injured.
I would go mostly with what your team is. I think he'll play. I don't think he'll play Gomez.
Don't you?
He'll play Matip.
Gomez has never lost a game though, has he?
I know. When he's played I don't know. I don't know where it come from. I just got this idea in my head.
Matip hasn't played for a while, like. It's a good one. It is a good one.
We'll see.
What would you do if Salah's unfit, then who would you go with?
think he'll probably go with Keita.
On the right?
I think so.
I don't know, Harvey. Let's not forget our
I would go with Harvey Elliott.
Our kids played against.
But if you just look at the way he's been playing, or I haven't seen everything, but the reports of how well he's been playing, it's going to be hard to leave him out.
Maybe he drops Genie for Keita. Genie's one of them. If you want to win a game, you do his head and put him on the bench. And
then he comes on with all guns blazing.
But Elliott bullied their team, if I remember correctly, in the FA Cup. Elliott played a blinder. Elliott and Jones.
Yeah.
I just want to add on this podcast, Curtis Jones is not responsible for his sister.
Don't tell me he's been getting grief over his sister.
Have you not seen his sister, the video?
Is that the one in the park?
Yeah, right. So I'm not going to go into detail because it's disgusting. But I think most people will have seen this video. The amount of grief Curtis Jones got on.
I didn't realise he was getting grief over it.
Oh my God. He was trending in the UK, like number 3 on Twitter.
I knew about the incident. I didn't know
I couldn't believe it. People tweeting the club, is this the type of players you want at your club? And I was just like, are you messing? His sister's a 30-year-old. He's 19.
Yeah.
18, 19.
What has he got to do with it?
What
Other than
do you know if my brother's 33 next month. If I went to my brother, if he'd done that, he'd just say to me, shut up.
Yeah.
Like, he's older than me. I have respect. Know what I mean? I know she's got no respect, but it is not Jones's fault that his sister is that.
No.
And she's defended herself saying that. I don't even want to go into it, but she said things that like she thinks she's happy for what she's done, but she's just one of them who's obviously might be on the place for Liverpool. But it's nothing to do with Curtis Jones, and I still stand by everything I've ever said about Curtis Jones. He's generational.
Yeah.
He's going to be as good as Gerrard.
I think he'll play quite a bit.
Yeah, he'll have his 5 games.
He will, no doubt.
I still stand by it. Everyone laughs at me and say, but he's going to be as good as Steven Gerrard.
That's bold.
It's bold. Steven Gerrard's the best player to ever play for Liverpool.
He's got good potential. But
let's not forget, when Jones is probably going to be entering into his prime, Gerrard will probably be the manager. Steven Gerrard said Jones is one of the best players he's ever worked with. Now, if you've got Gerrard as your manager, Gerrard...
I hope you're right.
I think I grew up as a kid with Carragher and Gerrard. In terms of the Scousers, I think that Jones and Trent are the next generation's Carragher and Gerrard.
Elliott's Scouser, isn't he?
No, he's from London.
Is he?
Do you think a Scouse would rock around with Woody
He's
he's a Cockney. He is a Cockney, but he's a big Liverpool fan. Yeah, a big Liverpool fan.
It's probably from the story about Real Madrid what made me think he was a Scouser.
Well, we said about Ramos. Yeah. To show him around. I'm not getting shown around by you. I like that. Yeah. I do like that. Elliott, we're not going to go into it. I like him as a player, that's all I'm going to say. There's a few things that I don't agree with what he's done with people close to other things, but we won't get into that. One final thing I want to touch on is on the Bundesliga yesterday, the Dortmund game, you heard it for the first time. EA are providing crowd noise. It took me a while, to be honest, to realise what was going on. Yeah. I knew it was happening in the Prem. I knew that like the EA were providing crowd noise, and Liverpool fans can choose between, I think it's LA, You'll Never Walk Alone, Genie Wijnaldum or Fields of Anfield Road on repeat for 90 minutes. But when I listened to the Dortmund game yesterday, it was
just crowd noise.
I mean, we say that, but they could have been just German songs, we don't know.
Yeah.
But I only really realised it was FIFA when Haaland scored.
See, I missed the goal, so I didn't see like.
So when
I just seen the gameplay.
You just know. Do you know when you score in FIFA, it's the same like the same cheer. It was that.
Just know it, yeah.
But you know what? It worked.
From what I've seen, it worked. See, I've been watching it without the crowd noise.
Yeah, it just sounds like
and it's just weird. Like watching a training game or whatever. But and again, it took me a bit of time to realise that there was actually crowd noise going on when I first watched it. I was like, okay,
it does add to it, doesn't it? Yeah.
Obviously, it's not the same.
I think it's still in the players' heads. It might be because Dortmund were abysmal yesterday, and it was the crowd noise of Dusseldorf. I mean, there is the 12th man. If you don't know if you've seen the percentage of only 21% of home teams have won the home games in Germany since the restart. It was 45% post lockdown. But I thought the crowd noise was just on the telly. I didn't know it was.
If it's pumped out in the stadiums, then
That's what it seemed like it was for the
I
Germans.
think that'd be quite unnerving as a player.
Like an empty stadium, you're hearing crowd.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm adamant. Could be wrong, but I'm adamant it was played on the stadium speakers for Dortmund.
I've heard that.
Because I didn't go and choose any song. It was just on when I turned it on. So, but yeah, apparently with Liverpool you get them 4 songs to choose from. But it's one of them.
Wouldn't sit there.
Don't through them. I mean, I'd want to listen to Genie song for 90 minutes, but I'd probably hate it by the end of it. Yeah. So I don't really want to.
Just a bit of background noise, bit of like cheer, like
yeah.
You don't even have to be singing.
But then there is some
all that sort of stuff.
What I would say is, why not get the youth team down? Like all the academies, there's what,
space them out or whatever.
Anfield's what now? 53,
is it?
53,000. If you get from say like the kids, even all the kids, imagine having an experience being like one of the only people who can go watch Liverpool during
10,000 or 12,000 or whatever.
Spaced out, yeah, social distance and that ground. Easy. Why can't they do it? This is what I don't get. And
obviously you can't decide for, you know, season ticket holders or fans or whatever, but people within the club.
Yeah, definitely.
Dinner ladies, anyone, just get people in.
Yeah, get out the Melwood dinner ladies. They deserve it. They should be presenting the trophy to Henderson. They're legends, them. But yeah, I don't understand it. The whole restart thing. It's a podcast for another day, really talking about it to see how it works in the Prem. But in terms of Bundesliga, they can tackle all game. They spit on the grass all game. They can celebrate with each other.
Do you know what? They pretend and they start off and they give like a little fist bump.
Well, the first game when Haaland scored in the first game back, he was like, they socially distanced celebrated, and it was like, and it like went down and like all over Twitter because it was like the first time it ever happened. But then yesterday we were all
hugging and shaking.
Yeah, but then on the bench they're all sat in masks 2 meters apart. So they come off the pitch and can't sit next to their teammates.
It's another absolute load of rubbish in it.
Yeah, the coronavirus isn't real. I'm adamant. I'm so adamant. That it's not real because all these
No, it's real. It's just been made to be more than it is.
I think anyone who's passed away, sadly, during the pandemic, has just had coronavirus wrote on the death certificate to boost the numbers up. Because think how much the restrictions have lifted in recent weeks. I know our number's still high in terms of the UK, but it's not as thousands of deaths like it was the other week when we had the same level of restriction. So it's just
strange one, isn't it?
It just makes no sense. So one final point about if we do win the league on Sunday, 5 games players need to get in. Klein's being let go, Annie.
Yeah.
I think there's Jones, Elliott, Lonergan, Neco Williams. But then it's like, how can he just pick a team from the kids? Or is he just going to play 11 kids for 5 games?
Just bring them on for sub.
Yeah, and just give them
5 sub appearances.
Has Shaq even played 5 games this year?
Probably a sub.
I don't know, I think he's only played like 2.
Does he?
Because he
I think that'll be...
You know when people talk about Coutinho faking an injury, Shaq faked one to get his hair done. Because he's had the hair transplant in, but I don't think he's played 5 yet, you know.
I think that'll certainly be on the players' minds. I would think they would. I think they'd be down Klopp's ear.
Yeah.
Listen, boss, you know, I'm not far off here.
Yeah, if they're 1 or 2. I was saying to Mrs. the other day, Curtis Jones, 19, Scouse lad, and I don't think he got a Champions League medal. He was there, but I don't think he had a medal. We definitely got a Super Cup one. Definitely got a Club World Cup one. He's on the verge of the Premier League one.
How many appearances does he have? Premier League? He'll obviously be
one.
He
come on
against
West Ham, didn't he?
There's plenty of time for him to get another 4.
Jones will get them 4, 100%.
So especially with the 5 sub rule now, that'll get a lot of players probably medals that may not have got.
I think now because there's 9 subs on the bench, 5, and come on, if you're not making that 9, you may as well go.
Yeah,
because I don't think you'll ever make you in the team. To an extent, Adam Lallana is got a new deal. I'm happy with that. He's meant to be a decent.
It's only to the end of the
season, yeah. I don't like him as a player anymore. I think his injury ruined him a few years ago. But
technically,
he's meant to be he's a good servant to the club, yeah. And fair play to him, do you know what I mean? I just don't understand why they just got rid of Klein, to be honest. I mean, Trent's just ruined that man's career, right? Yeah. For what you do when you're the best in the world. It's hard, isn't it? It is hard, so
Good luck to him anyway.
What's your prediction then, Steve, for the derby?
The derby? Oh, I'm going to go big. 5-0. 5-0.
See, when I was going big in the past few podcasts, post-lockdown...
I've talked you down, haven't
I
I?
was always wrong. I'm going to go 3-0. I'm going to go with Minamino first goal if he starts. I'm going to keep saying that till that.
They're laughing about you, only saying every week.
If he comes on, Curtis Jones is going to score.
Yeah.
If he comes on. 100%.
Yeah, I've got this weird inner confidence about it. I can just see us absolutely smashing them out the park.
Yeah.
And I'll be outside me window like that, going, yes, looking at Howard Kendall, because I live on Gladys Street. And I'll be giving Howard Kendall a finger.
Next week, folks, Steve will not be here because he probably would have been murdered on County Road by all the boys. That's sick for you, that, though, because you'll be able to, like...
I'll be able to hear.
Yeah.
There'll be no crowd noise unless they play. I'll be able to let you know if they play the crowd noises over the tannoy.
Yeah.
Because I'll be able to stick my head out the window.
You'll be able to play Jürgen.
Yeah. Be getting on my roof now.
I'm going to socially distance out if we've won the league, you know. You can't gather, Steve. What am I instigating here?
I'm going to be outside. That entrance. Oh my God, there's going to be thousands, isn't there?
I think
Everyone's
so.
going to turn up at that entrance where the players.
I think if there wasn't I'm all for the Black Lives Matter protest, the civil ones, not the
not
Wigan.
the and all that stuff.
I think that the Elden one as well, didn't they? Idiots. But I feel like because of all that, Liverpool fans might gather.
Yeah, it sort of gives us an excuse, hasn't it? Because
you see the Porto fans
on the roof.
Yeah, Woodison's not that high to climb, is it?
No, do you know what? I had my head out the window last night because of that storm.
Yeah,
I was looking at the front of the light, and I just looked over because, like, where I live, it's like right on the corner by the church.
Yeah,
and I'm looking, thinking, I can see a gap there. I wonder if I got on my roof. It's just not worth it.
I mean, obviously, I was fuming last week when you all said Liverpool fans would gather because it was just like we didn't gather for Hillsborough, and we're respectful fans. But now we've seen every Tom, Dick and Harry going out and disrespecting social distancing rules. I mean, you've got all the illegal raves and stuff. Fair play to them. I've got nothing against stuff like that. I wasn't there, so nothing against it. I know people have, and for the coronavirus and stuff like that, and the NHS, and I do understand it. But them raves were just as bad as the protests and just as bad as everything that's going on in this country. And I don't understand why, as a country, we are protesting when it's happening in America. I understand the Black Lives Matter thing and stuff. I'm not going to get into it because they
over there should be protesting about police brutality.
Yeah.
And that's not that I'm aware of. It's not really happening here in the same way. So I think it's just anarchists looking for a reason just to go out and cause.
I mean, I am going to discuss Black Lives Matter and all the protests on another podcast, the Matty Ste podcast, not this one, because some cop Janet will be fuming. Did you see her on Twitter?
Which one?
There's this girl, cop Janet, on Twitter, and she tweeted the club like, "Don't you dare put," because they're replacing all the names with Black Lives Matter.
She got a season ticket to
Get rid of her. If I sat next to her in the ground, I'd bloody spit at her anyway. Can't believe people like that. I hate racists, hate them, because it's like, I was thinking about it, the majority of the pool team's black. Yeah. And she's saying she doesn't want Black Lives Matter on the kits. It's the majority of our team. Our best player, Virgil van Dijk, is black. Do you know what I mean? And she's saying she doesn't want it. I've got no time for racists. But yeah, I do feel like because of all the protests, though, some fans, I'm not going to go up to the ground.
Some will use that as a...
I think there'll be fans who live within, like you, live in the local area. If there's people there outside your house partying, are you going to sit in your house and watch it? Probably not. You're probably going to go outside and join in.
I'm going to hug everyone.
But I mean, for me, obviously I go for 15, 20 minutes away from the ground. I'm just going to have a barbecue with my mates and enjoy it here. But I know like my brother's the same. And I know everyone I know is following the lockdown restrictions and that. So maybe we might not gather, but I do think if the protests and that carry on this week and there's more and more gatherings in this country, you probably will see a few. I'd say there's way to describe
you watch you get vilified in the media though.
Yeah, of course we will. We're hated. Yeah.
Like all our fans will be called all sorts and.
I mean, I am against anybody breaking it, even the protests and stuff like that for the NHS. I've got so much respect for the NHS. And obviously working within the care sector, me and you, like, we understand we've had to work for this, and we haven't had a 16-week holiday. But yeah, I do think some might break it just to celebrate, but I'll be celebrating in the garden.
Yeah. I've got my mates coming around as well, so I'll have the people
there you want to watch it with. But I mean, I should have my replica Premier League by then. Might go viral. You might see me on Twitter doing the Henderson shuffle in the garden.
Yeah, how much are you spending on it? 500 quid on it?
No, it's only 140 quid. It's only 44 centimetres.
I'll get the kids to make me one out of cardboard and silver paper.
No, some of the replicas online are shocking. You've got to be quite careful, to be honest. Some of them look like the Lions at the top of the Premier League, just they're abysmal. But this one I've got, fingers crossed, comes and it's decent. But I've just got a feeling it's not going to be here for the Everton or Palace game. But I'll have to just recreate Trophy Lift whenever it comes. Yeah. I only got it because I want to get a picture of the dog in his Liverpool top holding it. Yeah, because it's like cold after the big man, so he's going to have to get a picture as well. Yeah. Nice to have it coming on anyway.
Anytime.
If you are watching on YouTube, you might have seen our new hoodies. Got merch. If you want one, the 30 quid. You probably might want to bounce around in my hoodie, but you can do if you want. Yeah, let me know if you want one of them. We are going to do more merch. I've got a belt, a little picture like Bobby with his hand over his eye. But it's like I've got someone to draw it for me. Yeah. And then down his hand, it's got like the Redscast logo, like a tattoo. Nice. It's sick, proper sick. So I'm going to start doing merch of that, which is cool. But this is obviously the first prototype. Quite cool. But yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to leave a like, rating, comment, subscribe. FM tomorrow, 6 o'clock. If you listen on KCC Live, nice one for any new listeners. Do follow us, Redscast Podcast everywhere. And Steve will be back. Is it fair to say that if Arsenal win City, we're not going to be doing a podcast next Monday, are we? We're going to be very hungover. But yeah, we'll be back on the Monday, Tuesday, if we can. Yeah, and up the Reds, hopefully next time I see you, Stephen. 19 champions. Well, or very close to. So it'll probably be the Tuesday before Palace, very, very close to. But yeah, thanks for listening to Redscast. We'll see you next week, and up the Reds.
Up the Reds indeed.